Hey, good morning to you. Basically, making another video from yesterday because of the fact that when I did it, the volume didn't seem right, and also too, uh, it just I don't know, I didn't like it. But driving instruction part two. Okay, hopefully this one plays all the way through because when I uploaded it, it didn't work or whatever the case may be. Talked about my three girls yesterday, right? They needed a shout out. They wanted to hear from me a little bit. So Alabella and Megan the Stallion and then Little Zozo, who still do keep in contact with me to this day with regard to, just shooting me a text or touching base or whatever the case may be. So went over a bunch of different things with regard to um, certain circumstances and training and things like that with regard to um, doing maneuvers and things like that. Okay. But all in all, what we're really trying to accomplish with this particular video that we're doing now is with regard to like when you guys are behind the wheel of a car, okay, there's nothing really that big to be worried about or be afraid of or anything like that whatsoever. It's a piece of absolute cake, and for all the, other people chirping in your ear, or it could be parents, could be family, could be whomever, they're basically telling you, be mindful of this and so on and so forth, but in a different manner to the point of where it makes you more nervous and more apprehensive and more not willing to get behind the wheel of the car and give it a shot and give it a try. You guys have the opportunity to do that, and it's not that hard. It really, truly isn't. Like I said the other day, when you get behind the wheel of a car, that in and of itself should be a fun moment for you. That should be a fun thing for you. You should never get behind the wheel of a car and be like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be." So, no, 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 no. Okay, you should get behind the wheel of the car and be like, "All right, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's go do this thing." And when you go out and you start driving, it should be fun. It should be, a memorable experience for you. It shouldn't be something where it's like high anxiety or to the point of where you have to, really super uber focus on every single absolute detail that you're doing while you're driving. If you're in a more relaxed state, you're more apt to, take into your consideration all of your surroundings, okay? Driveways, people backing out of the driveway, front lawns, and now, these kids on these scooters going up and down the street and everything else, as well as side streets and paying attention to who's coming down the road and their rate of speed and so on and so forth. In a more relaxed state of mind, when you're driving in that fashion, it's so much easier to just do things as you would normally do them. Now, if you're in a very heightened state of mind, okay, you're going to brake twice as hard, you're going to accelerate twice as hard, you're going to oversteer, there's a plethora. You can just keep going and going and going and going of the things that you will do because it's based upon fear and adrenaline versus being behind the wheel of the car and actually having the opportunity to enjoy the situation and being in a relaxed state so that you can observe properly. You can, enjoy the whole experience of driving, right? In and of itself. And like I said the other day when I was talking, like you guys are not going to get behind the wheel of the car and you're not going to be like, don't talk to me ever. I gotta focus this entire time while I'm driving the car. No, that's not going to happen. You guys aren't going to leave school and be like, shh, gotta drive. Don't talk. That's not going to ever happen. So, or if you're anything like my kids in the morning at Clarence, I want to go to Starbucks. I want to go get a mocha choca Creole lady mama down frappe something chocolate double pump. I don't freaking know. My kids love getting all that stuff first thing in the morning. Anyways, but with regard to driving and being in certain situations, there's all kinds of different, obviously, weather patterns and things like that. We just had a cancellation the other day where, we were ready to go teach the kids in the morning and the school's closed, so there was no driving whatsoever. I mean, I get it to a certain extent, but I mean, you can't umbrella and you can't shelter and protect the kids that much because they're not going to drive in a circle or a square the entire whole rest of their lives. They're going to have to deal with different weather elements, be it wind, be it rain, be it snow, be it whatever. And sometimes, more often than not, that's actually the best time to get the kids in the car so they understand exactly what to do in those situations and those scenarios with that type of weather element beyond them or beyond. Never mind. I mean, I can't even get that out. Within the moment is what I'm looking for. And so once they actually get over that hump and understand that, it's not that difficult to drive in these situations, that's going to take more of the fear away as well, which is going to help them become better drivers and a stronger driver to the point of where, God forbid if something goes sideways or somebody spins out in front of them or, whatever the case may be, there's not going to be a panic situation. They're going to handle that situation accordingly and adapt and overcome it because one of the things that I tell my kids in the car all the time is that, you have to be proactive and not reactive, right? To the point of where when you're in the vehicle, you don't want to be reactionary to what's happening. You want to be proactive about it so that you see something happening up here so that you're preparing for it and you're aware of your surroundings and you can react to that accordingly before it's too late, right? So again, with my three rules that I stipulated in the preceding video that I uploaded the other day, which for whatever reason got cut off, um, my three rules are as follows. Rule number one, to make people aware of your intentions. Rule two, well, which is your blinkers. Rule number two, which is reverse equals rear window. So anytime the car is in reverse, you got to optically take and make your way to the rear window, right? So that you can properly see what's going on in your entire field of view so that you're completely safe. And then last but not least, which is smog, right? Signal, mirrors, over your shoulder, go. And by over your shoulder, I'm talking in terms of your blind spot. Now, most people won't know what your blind spot is, right? Because all the newer cars have this technology where the side mirrors light up or the sensors take off and, beep, 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 beep. So, but when you actually are in a vehicle that has like four doors to it, your two back doors, those windows are actually what's considered your blind side. All right. Or if you're in just a two-door vehicle, okay, then you would have to turn around and look over your shoulder. That would be your blind spot in the car. All right. So, anyways, signal mirror over your shoulders go. Okay, and that's going to be every time you go to and from the curb and or when you're changing lanes in traffic. Now, along with that, when you're changing lanes in traffic, right? If you have those segregated lines, dot, 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 right? That's the scenario. That's a situation where you are required to look over your shoulder in as much as checking your mirrors and using your blinkers. All right. If it's a solid line, you only have to simply just take and check your mirrors and hit your blinker and then get over accordingly. Okay. Because it's not a merging lane. It's not a merging situation. You don't have to worry about anybody speeding around the side of you. However, best practices, if you're in a vehicle, just do it all the time anyways, because it's just going to become a commonality to you to the point of where you're going to have an opportunity to be safe at all times. I myself have been doing it for years, whether I'm in a merging situation or not, because let's be frank and let's be honest, there are people out there that don't abide by the law and don't abide by the rules, and they will go over a solid line because they're impatient or because of whatever reason there is. But regardless, I'm going to be safe. The people in my vehicle are going to be safe. And that's how I teach my kids as well. So, in conclusion with all that, right? When you're in that particular situation, okay, be proactive. Don't be reactive to the situation, you know? And also, like I was saying from the other day, I'm just going to backtrack a little bit because I kind of got sidebarred yesterday when my phone rang during, the recording and so on and so forth, which kind of screwed me up a little bit too. But there's all kinds of different characters that I come across throughout my journey. And, these kids are amazing, and I get so filled up with energy to see these kids on a daily basis because I don't care if it's, ADHD, ADD, high anxiety, any type of disability. I've worked with kids from all over the spectrum, all over the spectrum. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, there is not one of them that can't do it, right? If you believe in them and if you give them the opportunity and you pump these kids up and you give them the ability to believe in themselves, they can accomplish anything whatsoever. And I know I'm probably going to get whacked for this, all right, but I really don't care because I come from a different generation where, if you talked out of turn, you got a crack upside the head and then you snapped into line. But I'm not afraid of anyone or anything, basically, is what I'm saying. So I'm just going to go ahead and say it. And today, in society today, there's way, way, way too much pacification of these kids, right? You got to treat them as the young adults that they are, and you got to give them the opportunity to grow, or they never will, based upon immediate self observation of when I'm in the car with these kids. I can't do this. I can't do that. I've never tried this. My parents won't take me. They're afraid to go with me. They don't want to take me. Okay. Instead of looking at it from that perspective, I tell my kids all the time, you got to do what you're going to be able to do in the vehicle the way I believe that you can do it. And I believe you will do it. And my kids do it. And in doing so, it gives them that self accomplishment and that pride. And, that's why all my students look forward to coming back and hanging out with me and driving and doing the lessons and so on and so forth. What kid do you know has ever said, "Oh yeah, I want to go do my driving lesson today"? Mine. That's who. Because I'm invested in them. Because I'm not simply just getting into the vehicle with them. Yeah, okay, buckle your seatbelt, put the car in gear, and let's go. That, I know instructors that do that. I know instructors that get behind the wheel of the car and they're there for the paycheck. And I know that there are individuals out there that, don't really work with the kids the way that they should. I mean, I've got files that are put into my mailbox at the office where they're like, "Oh, I can't work with this kid." And I get them in the car and there's not a damn thing wrong with them. Not one. And it just kind of, I don't know, it blows me away that, people can look at these young kids today and not even give them the opportunities that they need. I don't know what their issue is or what from what walk of life they come to from or what they've gone through in their lives or if they're having a bad year, let alone a bad day. I've never once taken anything exterior out on my kids that had happened to me internally because it's not fair to them and it's not fair to the experience that they're looking to obtain. I mean, it's a lot of money that they pay to get these driving lessons, number one. And number two, it's also a life experience. So when they look back on the time that they had with me years from now, they're going to be like, "Hey, you know what? When I learned how to drive, I had the coolest driving instructor ever. I mean, we had so much fun. We laughed. I learned so much, and it made me want to learn and grow and become a better driver than what I started out to be in the beginning." So, with all that being said, hopefully that brought everything to conclusion from yesterday's video. I apologize again. Like I said, with regard to, I don't know what the heck happened when I uploaded it. Half the video got cut off. And I'm just leaving it up there anyway. Um, so you guys, you go have a great day. You enjoy. All right. And hopefully this will help you to graduate life.